Okay, will you all please join me by joining your, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, join me by joining your palms together. Homage to the Blessed One, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. Homage to the Blessed One, the Arahant, the perfectly enlightened one. Thank you very much. So, welcome back, everyone. I can see that some of our friends are still coming in. So don't worry, we take a bit of time to recap what we did last week. So as we see, last week we started from a little bit of discussion about our stressful modern human life, what kind of stress, whether it's from work or from home, and what is it about the internet that causes us so much suffering. And then we talk about, okay, what is self-awareness? Why is it so important in dealing with stress that we have to face from day to day? And then we did a little bit of, of course, we did a stress, what do you call it? The stress test, yeah, and to see which level that we are at, and just to know whether we are we aware or unaware about our own emotional states. And of course, we did kind of a different kind of self-compassion practice. Yeah, we were asking you to generate kind of a sentence for yourself that you think is kind and is good for yourself. Very special, very specific to you and has meaning to you. And we do that as a gift to ourselves and to lift our emotion. Okay, that was last week. And so today we will start by doing a little bit. I still like to do a little bit of discussion on the awareness. You remember that little practice we did last week is looking at the photos. We have 6 photos, remember? Yeah, 6 photos, and then ask us to choose one. I hope for those of you who joined us last week, that you still have your homework with you. Yeah, I'd like to ask maybe 2 or 3 people if you would like to share with us and what you feel about it. And then we go to another kind of extended model on how to apply the awareness that we learned from last week. I call it ABC model. Yeah, you see what it is afterwards. And then we do a little bit more practice. Yeah, learning the theory is not enough. And of course, we'll be hearing all these theories everywhere. You go to the bookstore, all the self-help books, they have tons and tons of them. I think we just don't have time even to read them, yeah, not to say to practice them. So why don't we just get something very practical, simple, and then we can put to use right away. So that's my goal for today. All right. Okay, so this is what part one of about the awareness homework. So just a little bit more recap. Yeah. So we talk about the 5 um, very important elements in the self-awareness. Yeah, that is taught in Buddhism. These 5 kind of thoughts, or we call it mind, it appears all the time, when we're awake and when we're dealing with people, when we're even just sitting there doing nothing. All these 5 elements of thoughts are there. So we have a contact, right? This is what you see, what you hear, and what you first think about when you see something or hear something. Attention, what you pay attention to, and sensation is how we feel about what we see and what we get contact to. And conception is what we think about what we see. Well, that is a little bit more abstract. And then the last one is from all this thought, we come to a conclusion of how should we react to what we face. Right. So for this, I have asked you guys to do some exercise. Yeah. So just another recap. So this was all the 6 paintings or pictures that we were using last week. So remember we asked you to pick one photo, right? Pick one picture. And then think about what you see. All right. What attracted your, well, what you got attracted to, right? Let's for example, if you pick the first photo on your left, on your upper left, right? Well, you see a guy standing there holding a trophy. Okay, if your attention is a trophy, well, then it's a trophy. If your attention is the one standing there clapping the hand, right? Do you see like a shadowy guy in Sikote, like, oh, he's clapping his hand. Okay, just what attracted your attention. Yeah, that is attention is for a sensation. If you are the person, or if you're the one standing there clapping your hand, how do you feel? What's the feeling? Is it a joyful feeling, a sad feeling, or no particularly strong feeling? So these are called a sensation. And conception is, what do you think about it? Beside feelings, how do you think about it? What is in your mind? Oh, it could be like, oh, I feel joy. I'm so happy to see my friend getting a trophy. So I'm the one who support him the most, blah, blah, blah. This is what you think, right? What you think, what you believe. I believe my friend deserves this. He tries so well. Well, whatever you see from a photo, right? And volition is like, okay, now you think about how you want to react to that. Imagine you are in the picture, right? Will you go up and congratulate your friend? Or will you just stand there, keep clapping your hand? Or you make a volition to yourself. Yeah, I want to be exactly like him. So from now on, I'm going to try. So these are the five, how I would say, thoughts that we have actually anytime. Even now, when you're sitting there listening to the talk, your eyes is staring at the screen, your ears are listening to my voice, right? You have a sensation of sitting on the chair, how you're feeling, and your thoughts like, okay, yeah, what he says makes sense. Yeah, yeah, this is how they relate to my life. Okay. So, and then volition. Okay, well, since it's quite interesting topic, I'd like to stay on. I try to stay on to 9:30 without going anywhere. Well, so these are the five thoughts that we want to keep practicing today, right? Is it clear? Well, first of all, any question from this very brief recap of what we did last week? You have any question about what actually is conception? What is volition? What is it to do with our daily life, for example? I don't know if you have anything. Is it open your mic and just let us know? Oh, did I press the wrong button? Okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, shall we move on? Okay, what I want to do now is, right, that is what that's a photo. Right? I remember last week we have one or two of you share your work, right? You pick one picture and then you tell a little bit of story about what you hear about it and what you think about it. So I would like to do the same. Yeah, maybe we will spend the next probably a few minutes to see if anyone like to share what you think about, and of course, if you're willing to, there's no forcing on you. Okay, let's see. For myself, actually, I picked another photo, but let's say from the top for myself is the right, is it the left-hand corner, right? The guy standing there holding a trophy. Anyone pick that photo? If you did, yeah, or you can type one in the box. Let me see. No, it's so unpopular. All right, Shane, my screen is quite small. I can't open the chat. If you see reaction in the chat box, so just let me know. Okay, help me
Okay, all
keep
right.
an eye on it. Okay, yeah. Okay, how
Yes,
about a
I'm not
second one?
yet.
Oh, how about a second one? Still the middle on upper layer. There's a hole on the ground, and there was someone, there was a young girl trying to cross it. Anyone chose that? Or if you just came in today and you missed the last week class, but this is what we do, right? Look at a photo, try to just answer some very simple questions. What do you see? What catches your attention? How do you feel if you are that person or something there, right? What are your thoughts? Like, what do you want to do? How would you react in that case? Five simple questions. All right. So no one chose second one too? Oh, okay. Let's see which is the most popular one. How about a third one? Oh, I saw Doris. Doris, are you there? You raise your hand. Hi, Doris.
Yeah,
Okay.
I chose the number two last week. Yeah,
Oh, you chose number two is that's a big hole on the ground, right?
yeah.
Okay. What do you see?
Actually, I see a challenge.
A challenge.
Yeah, a challenge to actually either a challenge or new challenge to yeah
Okay.
yeah.
What caught your attention in that photo?
Actually, after I mean when I looking at this six picture, I feel that the second one are more like more relate to myself in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because uh I'm person like want to take new challenge and to learn new things. So sometimes things that I may not familiar with, but I will don't mind to try. Okay,
Okay.
when you display this six picture, I see this one is somehow after I try to fill up those five factors that you mentioned, then after some time, this somehow quite relate to myself in the way.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have written down the five, like a brief
Last week,
description of
yeah,
each. Do you
yeah,
still have it? Would you
yeah, it's
mind
still
maybe
with
just
me.
share with us? Yeah.
It's just like my thoughts lah. It's like the content that after I see it's like a challenge, but it's a positive challenge lah, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, then attention is like sometimes there's a challenge I will wonder like how should I overcome it in a way. Like because seeing this attention like how the person should go over this big gap or this big hole in a way. Then the sensation is somehow sometimes will feel fear or worried lah, like whether can I make it, in the or whether is there
Mm,
any things that I need to think more or any other thing that I can help myself to be better, that kind of
mm,
worry or fear. But uh and then the conception is like we'll try lah to think how to overcome and see how to make it these obstacles lah. Yeah. The
mm.
Malaysia is like in a way like, to build my confidence, I must take courage to overcome it. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
so I would say that from this picture, you imagine yourself to be the girl standing at the
Somehow it's like,
edge,
yeah,
like
not
a
say
like a cliff.
imagine that.
Yeah.
But after I doing it, it's somehow like
So
similar to
you are the you are the
yeah,
one standing
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Okay, so what you saw from the picture is like you imagine like you are the girl standing on the cliff and trying to cross over
Yeah.
very carefully, and for you it's a challenge. Yeah? So you see it as a very challenging kind of picture in front of you, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
what caught your attention? Maybe if you go to that photo, what exactly caught your attention? Is it the right foot that is halfway, like, float, like lifted in the air, or what? Or her facial expression, like which one that's more interesting to you?
It's like trying to the leg is like trying to over the gap there. Yeah,
So that is what caught your attention.
yeah, correct.
So okay. So have you asked yourself why? Why you like really pay attention to the leg instead of, I don't know, maybe the hands or maybe the facial expression?
It's because like sometimes you already like after you think then you will action. Then halfway through you cannot stop. You must go over. Yeah,
Oh,
in a way.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
So is it what you are already going through at your work now, or
Uh
or at your environment?
my environment somehow, yeah. I mean the daily work task like in a way like sometimes it
Oh,
will be challenge and sometimes it's like out of blue they will ask you to do something that you are not familiar with, then but choice have to
mm.
for it and then just
Oh, okay. So I can tell from your description, like your role is more like whatever new challenges that are given to you, you have no time or you have no, how would say, you cannot just give a face and say, oh, I can't do that, right? But you have to really, no matter what, you have to raise your foot and try to cross it, no matter
uh
how,
yeah, sort of,
maybe,
but
yeah.
because maybe my character is like I don't like to learn new things or in
Okay,
a way like
okay.
will not being like view it like a challenge, but sometimes it's an opportunity for me to build up my confidence. So in a way,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
So
how about your sensation? You were saying that um what the word you use again for your
just now I
sensation?
use fear and worry sometimes
Oh, fear and
yeah,
worry.
because
Okay. So
maybe new to me,
mm,
of course, the fear and worry
mm,
is I
mm.
think is a normal reaction
Yeah.
that can be happen. Then
Okay.
yeah, but it's just
So you
mindful
so
to
mm,
overcome it. Yeah,
so so you know very well that you have fear and also you have the worry in yourself,
yeah,
but you know you have to deal with it.
yeah,
You
correct.
got to overcome it and cross it no matter how. So your
Yeah.
conception is like, how do you feel about yourself? It's more like, how do you feel about this situation or about yourself in this case?
How do I feel it? It's like
Mm.
okay, because
What
maybe
do you think about it? Mm.
at work it's like you doing this purpose is for people. So
Yeah.
so sometimes I will think that okay, like it's for people. Okay, don't think so much for yourself. It's like to maybe you build broaden your perspective instead of like I must something, but I build it off it's for people. So
Mm.
just use that mentality to do it and overcome it.
Oh. So you always carry the belief that we learn all the time, we improve all the time, and you also believe that you are capable of doing it, right? Would I call it self-confident in a sense?
Uh, I just want to build my courage lah. I will not say I will be confident, but I think before you
You
confident must
want
have the
to,
courage
yeah, you
to
want to
do
build your
certain things
courage.
lah. Yeah,
Okay, you see,
because like
yeah, see, yeah.
yes,
So this is what you believe, right? This is what you
yeah,
believe. You believe that we have to build our courage to overcome obstacles,
yeah,
right? So it's more like, yeah, this is way of thinking. Volition is like, yeah, you have decided you have to do it. You have to already overcome,
yeah.
right? So okay, Doris. So at the end, after you done this exercise, like anything you take out from this exercise, like in general, or does it give you any no, I don't know, any new perspective to your to your life, or how will
Okay.
you say put it in
Because I mean as compared to the past of myself, I mean to compare my past, I think at the present moment, I think I'm more, I will say I'm more slightly more confident than the past. That in the past I may withdraw myself rather than trying, but after seeing
Mhm.
this, I realized that I have been keep on trying things that I'm not familiar with. Like for example, like I may not dare to speak up, like let's say
Mm.
in Zoom, but right now I may more have that.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
last
that's
time I
great.
will be
Thank you
more
so much. That's so
introvert,
great.
more quiet, rather than don't talk. Yeah, I keep it to
Yeah,
myself, but I
thanks.
compare after being uh I mean like through the learning of Dharma and slowly that build up my confidence in the way like
Oh,
actually can try and don't think of yourself too much. Maybe it's like
mm.
you do something is for people, it should be uh do it out and
All
to
right.
so it somehow indirectly build my courage in
Mm.
a way. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
Thanks, Doris. I think you have, thanks for your sharing. It's wonderful. Yeah. I think from here, I can see that from understanding, you looking at the picture, actually, it like reflect what we face every day or even right now, right? What is the most important thing that in our mind right now? Kind of a mirror. So from what you're using the five thinking, like the five elements, to analyze and to describe what you feel. I think for me, like I really see a clear picture of what kind of like courage or what kind of personality that you are trying, at least you want to become, right? And also for me, when I do the exercise, it helped me to build a clear picture for myself. Like, okay, now this is more like how I deal with things, like how I'm going to see everything from now on. But I try to use these five elements to help me to analyze all difficult situations. And I think you have shown a very good example. Thanks, Doris.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Well, I think can open for another one. How about the one to the top right corner? Anyone chose this and you'd like to share? Okay. No, now we can move to number 4, maybe. The bottom left-hand corner. The group of people, students, I don't know, whatever, friends going for outings. Anyone? No. Okay, then we move on to the next one. The middle one, the bottom middle one. I don't know what it is. It looks like they're at a cashier paying for something. Is it correct? Is it a message? Oh, what's the question? It's a big thing. We are talking about discussing the last week's homework, well, not the exercise, that you choose one picture and then you try to give a very brief answer for each of the element states on the side: contact, attention, sensation, conception, and volition. Well, we have explained what each of it means. And so that's why we ask someone who have done the exercise and would like to share with us what you found, like Doris just share what he thought about. So that's what we are doing now.
Sorry, Fasil, someone asked what's the question?
Yeah, I was explaining what was the question. Okay, well, but if you weren't here from the last week, maybe you need some time to actually start over and doing it. It's okay, you can give it a try. Yeah. I thought I just explained a little bit of what we're doing. Is it okay? Yeah. Okay, how about the last one? The last one at the meeting. Oh, maybe you can have another one to share if you would love to. The one at the meeting. It's quiet.
It looks like nobody likes homework.
Well, I know. I try not to give homework next time. Yeah. So yeah, let me share. You were talking about last week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe just try the last picture on
Yeah. Share a
the
little
right
bit. Yes.
corner. To me, it seems like this scenario happens almost every day in the office.
Everything.
You
Okay.
have people
Mm.
arguing, and you also have another group of people that is in the same meeting, but they are talking about some other things.
Mm.
Yeah, and for myself, my reaction would be the guy in the red shirt that's trying to walk away.
Mm. Walk away.
Because yeah,
Okay.
because I do not wish to get involved in all these unnecessary arguments.
Mm.
But in actual
Okay.
fact, there is 7 people in the picture, but regardless of whatever reaction that you choose, it does not satisfy everybody, and it is
Mm.
not possible to meet everyone's expectation or to make everyone happy.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I
that's the
thought.
point. So you mean by walking away, if you're all right with it, you don't need to stay there and try to please other people,
Yes, yes.
just to
I
stay there to
thought
please other people.
I thought I had better things to do.
Okay, yeah, that's still, it's a very, it's a very fair, your choice, right? Or your volition, like what you want to do, as to keep out your own personality, to keep our own belief. Like because we believe that we don't need to waste time on unnecessary argument, and we don't want to get, but you don't need that much attention other than what you have to achieve in your work. So that's also a very good choice of doing it, right? Okay, well, that was the exercise we're doing about on the five most basic and fundamental elements in the mind. Yeah, we're talking about this on the Buddhist psychology. Now we did this practice in order to get more familiar with it. All right, now we should I want to move on to explain a little bit about on this model, like how are we going to actually make it even simpler, like make it even more simpler to put it at work. Um, you know that as I don't know, in Malaysia we call ourselves monks, but in the North America usually we call themselves Buddhist priest. So what does a priest do? A priest is actually more like a counselor on religion. Right? We are the religious priest. That means that actually we give counseling to people to come and talk about our life. Okay, what happened was, well, I do talk to different people from time to time about the problem, the challenge they are facing. I just want to say that one thing very common I hear about from guys, especially from guys, like um, they always talk about, oh, I don't know how to actually communicate, with my partner, and I've been trying so much, and I just don't know what the others, what their partner, they just don't know what their partner are thinking, right? So, well, first of all, I don't know why someone would choose to talk to a monk about relationship, but I think they do think that, yeah, getting advice from Buddhism is something very, very, very wise to do. So what I try is to explain is, well, when we see this kind of question like communication problem, when we are facing with someone who is hard to deal with, or we cannot really open up our mind, or we cannot open up the other mind. So how are we going to deal with it, right? Okay, before we go into that, I'd like to show you something a little bit interesting. Okay, we see that from the cognitive science, we know that our brain is divided into the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, right? Usually we say that, well, if you're a right-handed person, if you're a right-handed person, then your left brain is more active, is more connected to you, because it's more kind of like you're used to use the left brain more than the right brain, because the left brain controls the right side of the body, right? So, okay, and usually we say that, okay, the left brain is basically take care of like analysis or logic thinking, idea that we have, facts, math, and when you are really good at math, right? And you're also good at the language, usually because the left side of the brain is kind of more active, or it may be more developed, and yeah, these are left hand side. But if you're a left-hander, right? Usually we associate people who are left-handed, we say, oh, they're more creative people, right? I'm sure you've seen people like that in your life, for your friends, for your family, or even yourself as a left-handed. And maybe you say, oh yeah, I'm good at art, intuition, art, creation, feeling. Yeah, feeling. Feeling is very important, right? So when you talk to people who are more artistic, and when you talk to someone who is like, for example, maybe an engineer, right? Or a doctor, right? Maybe it's just an example, right? Or if you talk to a lawyer, you'll find that it's quite hard to talk about feelings to people who are so strongly trained in analysis, like medical science, engineering, right? They're more like facts-based. So what I'm saying is, when talking about feelings, to expression, to understand of our feelings, it's more like right side brain job. Well, it doesn't mean that only the right side brain isn't working. Of course, both brains are communicating, are functioning at any moment, all the time. It's just that the right side of the brain, we have more neurons dedicated to our feelings and our thinking, right? This is how we see. Okay, what was interesting was we come back to the communication uh, between man and woman. So there was one of the scientific research uh, done by university in America. So what they did was okay, they randomly pick some male students, and some boys and some girls, right? So they asked them, okay, have you ever have experience of breaking up with your partner? All right, for those who say yes, then they go on further, right? So they put that into the fMRI, the magnetic resonance. What is I? I forgot. Isotope? Well, anyway, fMRI, you know what I'm talking about, right? The fMRI machine to scan your brain. So what they did was they asked, okay, when you are in that machine, think about the time when you broke up with your partner, right? Think about it, right? Just imagine that picture. Okay. And then they analyze a bunch of guys, and then they put the same thing for the girl and say, okay, go to the machine and think about the time you break up with your partner. Okay, this is what they found, right? And this is a very kind of like a general result that apply to most of the people, right? So this is a response from the girls, right? Respond to break. When think about breakups in the machine, this is what they found. You see that the right side of the brain. No, actually, this is anyway. I cannot tell whether the left or right. They find that this part that is responsible for our emotional thoughts, that process emotions, it become very active. Right. So this is a girl's one. So so we understand that when they're actually thinking about the time when they break up, all the emotion become alive, right? The brain become quite active. Okay. Okay. So this is the female one. So guess what? The next one is a result from the guys, right? So it was a very interesting finding is that when most of the guys, when they talk about breakups, emotional things, it seems like, they are like, okay, I don't want to talk too much about it. And they seem to be off a bit. They don't like, they don't want to get too much emotional involved in the discussion. Well, traditionally, we might blame that. Well, this is why guys are not sentimental, they are not romantic, they are not good communicator. But actually, I think before we jump to conclusion, we must say that even our brain structure is quite different. For guys in general, I mean, especially for youngsters in general, when you talk about emotional responses, it shows in the brain that most guys don't have that kind of strong connection with emotions, with all the parts of the brain when they think about the episodes that supposed to make them feel excited, sad, or whatever, compared to the girls, right? So this just shows us that, well, so when I told the young guy who came to me and complained about, and he even told me that, well, Fasil, will I ever be, successful in my relationship? Because all my girlfriends before me, and all my ex-girlfriend, they say that I'm not good. He always think that, yeah, I try, but he don't understand why, like he would never really get to understand the partner, or is it really going to stay that way? Like there's no way to change. Yeah, so this is what we're trying to do, right? This is what we're trying to talk about in this class is, yeah, even though physiologically, like our brain tells us that even our brain structure is a little bit different between men and women, but that doesn't mean that guys are doomed, right? that doesn't mean that we have no way to actually express our feelings more efficiently. So this is what we are trying to do, to understand how we see the world and how we're going to use our thoughts, our mind to actually to comprehend our environment in a more precise, in a more meaningful way. So this is why we're going to talk about the ABC model. What is the ABC model? Actually, this model actually is talked about in the Western psychology. So it had three each one is stand for, these are the letters. They come from three different words. So first one is about activating event. It says that when something happens, when we see or when we feel, when we know something happened, right? So activating event, the first thing. The next thing is belief, right? When you know something happened, what you believe in yourself. Your belief will actually bring a result to how you're going to react, and that is called the consequences, right? So from activating events, we have our belief system to actually analyze and digest all the information we receive, and then we decide what we're going to do or react to a situation, and that brings the consequences. Right? Simple step, three step. So why are we talking about it here? Because this is exactly what the Buddhist psychology was talking about, the 5 elements that we just talking about. This is closely related to the simple system here, ABC system. Okay, this is how it goes. Right? Remember we have the context, right? 2, right? Contact, we come to see what's happening, touch, feel, and attention, where we put our attention to, what caught our attention, how we feel about it, right? And then conception, what is it that we think? It's more like, what is it that we believe? What do I believe? What I see when I see something? What do I believe to be true? What do I believe to be right and wrong? All the judgment, that comes in that conception. And volition, the last part is, okay, how should I react? What should I do? What do I want to take out from this? So these 5 elements in the Buddhist psychology it could be summarized into the ABC model as in Western psychology. This is how it works, right? In the activating event, it's just like the input from our contact, right? Contact means that we see something happening. We understand, oh, all right, I see a guy crossing a street. All right, okay, so that is contact, activating event, right? And then you put attention. Oh, I put attention on a man walking on the street. So this is still belong to the activating event, right? And then the sensation. At that time, when you see something happen, what do you feel? So even though there are 3 different thing, you come to see the things and you got your attention, you have a feeling of it, but it just happened in the click of a hand without you even knowing it happens. So that is all under activating event. Of course, the sensation also has to do with what you believe, right? If you believe that action to be good, then because you believe it to be good, that will also affect your feeling. You see something good, then you feel good, right? But if you believe the action to be bad, like for example, if you go to Japan, have you ever been eating in a restaurant, sitting next to Japanese people, right? Remember how they eat the noodles? They will slurp and they will really use very loud noise to actually suck in a noodle with the soup, right? For them, that is a culture. That is actually a way to pay respect to the cook, to tell the cook that, oh, this is very delicious. Thank you. I'm enjoying your noodles. Then when the louder you make the noise of slurping in the noodles, the higher the respect you pay to the cook. But for a foreigner like us, right, who are much influenced by, I don't know, either the Chinese or the Western, thinking, the ethical, no, you call it, the manner, right? The kind of table manners. We think, oh, no. Make making a sound when you're eating noodle is definitely not acceptable. So if we go to a restaurant in Japan and we bring the sensation, oh, how rude these people are, making the sound is so annoying. Well, because we believe that from the Chinese or from our tradition, believe that making a sound in making noodle is is a bad manner. That's why we automatically have the feeling of annoyance, right? We feel annoyed, don't want to follow that. But if you try to say, oh yeah, we're in Japan, let's try to follow their custom, and you kind of make yourself becoming more playful. Okay, let's imitate them. Let's also do the song, like a joyful thing. But immediately you change a belief system from a bad banner to become something playful and interesting and fun, right? And you make the sound and you enjoy, you laugh with your friends, but your sensation has just changed from annoyance to, I mean, I don't know, happiness or fun, right? So that sensation is also connected to the event and also much more to your belief, right? What you think is good, what you think is bad. And the next thing is also conception. Conception is more like the belief, right? What you believe to be good or bad. So it's closely related to that. And the final one, of course, what you want to do now, what you think is right to do now actually brings you your consequences of your action. Okay, you see this model, right? How we are trying to simplify the five the most important elements in the Buddhist psychology. But when we want to, let's say you cannot remember the five elements like all the time. Like, what? The other day supposed to say, what was the next one? Was it sensation or attention? Which one first? Like sometimes it becomes a little bit complicated. Well, now I give you another simpler one, but has like very similar content. It's called A, B, and C. What is the event? What do you believe? And what is the consequences? I mean, what do you want to do and what is the result of it? So these are the very kind of like a formulation to make a more complicated model into a simple. Okay, let's put into work. How does it work? Let me show you one time. Okay, we have the event A, B, and C listed here. Let's say, for example, for events, right? You fail a driving test, right? And then, yeah, by the way, actually, this is a true story. Yeah. I just learned that to get a driving license in Singapore is very hard, right? The test is awfully difficult. I'm not sure if I'm correct. So I went online and I searched about it. I know that there's one thing, the first thing is called a what? BTT. What is BTT? The
Basic theory.
basic theory test. And then you have the one final theory test, right? And then you have another one, PDVL. What is that? The actual driving test?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Actually,
So we
after the
have
basic
three tests.
theory, after the basic theory, you need to go for advanced theory. Then the last
Oh,
one, the practical test.
so three tests and all together. Okay, so whatever was a few weeks ago, a friend of mine in Singapore, he just told me that he took the test and he failed miserably. So it really broke his own confidence. And then he told me that, oh, in Singapore, this is really something. So what I'm trying to say is failing a driving test in Singapore could be, well, getting a driving license in Singapore is so challenging. This is the first time I heard about it. So, okay, for the case of my friend, like he failed the driving test for the first time. And what is the belief, right? So the first time believe that, oh, I failed because I know that I could get anxious easily, right? When I was sitting um, next to the examiner, uh, just any little like hand gesture he made would make me nervous. I thought I did something bad or wrong. So he said I got nervous easily. I got bad motor reflex. I cannot control anything at the same time. He said I don't have a good sense of direction. Or that he believed, is the other reason for his feeling. So what happened is at that time he felt really low self-esteem, right? He said, oh, I'll just give up. I'm not going to try anymore. That was the first time he failed. And said, okay, from now on, I'm going to take taxi only or the MRT only. so so here we see the whole process is what we call the ABC process, right? The negative event that is failing the driving test, right? When that happened. So, and then believe what we believe when something happened, what we feel about it, how we think about it, how we make use, how we see situation. We blame ourselves by getting anxious easily, by being not good, by being stupid sometimes. We always say to ourselves, oh, you're so stupid. Right? In the end, we become even more low self-esteem. And the worst scenario is we give up trying the next time to get the test. Okay, so this is an example of how we apply the understanding of the ABC or the five the thought elements in everyday scenario. Okay, is that clear? Yeah, a negative event, what you believe about yourself and about other things, and what are the other outcomes that happen to it. So one more thing my friend told me was that the examiner was so strict was that when you are actually doing the road test, you know that you cannot be too careful. What do you mean too careful? If you do one extra movement or gesture that is not necessary, your point will be deducted. Like you say that when I need to do a left turn, right? Usually I only need to look at the right, to turn left. But after he looked at the right, and then he looked at the left again, and then he looked at the right again. So he was deducted for that because he did an extra careful thing. So yeah, there's something I learned about, being a driver in Singapore is definitely not a child. Yeah, definitely a big thing. Yeah. So I really admire you guys. Yeah, whoever here who drive in Singapore, you have my respect. Okay. Okay, so that is it. Let's do a very brief exercise here. Remember the ABC, activity event. In short, what was the problem, right? B is what were your beliefs? What were your thoughts? Are you blaming yourself? Are you blaming the circumstances outside? And C, how did you react? The consequences. What did you do? What did you say to yourself? I'm not going to try it again, or I want to try it again next time. Okay, so I give you about 2 minutes. Yeah. Okay, do you have a paper or a pen with you, or you can type on the screen wherever you want to, or just go through in your mind, right? With three simple questions. Think about a minor failure you just experienced. Maybe this week, last week, right? Something not too big, a minor failure. What happened? What was the problem? What were you believing at that time? At the end, how did you react? Okay. I give you 1 minute and a half. Yeah. Think about it, write it down. Anyone got a question? You can type in a chat box. Oh, can you show the ABC side? Sure. Where was it? A, B, is it this one? I hope this one that is the clearest.
Sorry, Faster, you want us to describe the problem, and next one, what do we need to do?
Oh, sorry, this one, the A, B, just the question are here. The problem, just one sentence.
Leave a thought, huh?
Yeah, or your what do you believe? Why, what caused the problem? What do you think? What do you believe with your thoughts? And because of that, what did you do? So that something that you think that you have failed in reasoning, you're not happy about. All right. Are we okay? Okay. I think you'll be fine. All right. So A, activity aware, what was the problem? B, what your belief, what your thought, and C, how do you react? So this is closely related to the contact, the attention, sensation, conception, volition. We're making the model simpler by just reducing it to 3 parts so that it's easier for us to analyze, especially on the believing part. Yeah. Okay. Anyone would like to just use 1 minute to share your thoughts? I know it's hard. Usually at this time, or should I ask by calling names very politely? No, I don't even see your faces. So it's very hard. Still no volunteer?
Anybody would like to try? If not,
Well,
I start off with the first one.
yeah,
So
I
I can
see.
try.
Okay, I see Sharon. All right.
Okay, start off with the problem was a
Yeah.
colleague wanted to make changes to existing procedures, which was actually working well.
Hmm.
Okay, and then my belief then was she just wanted to impress and to show that she's proactive in making changes. And in the end, how did I react? I only withheld my comments and thought that it's normal for younger colleagues to want to impress with new ways of doing something. Yeah.
Okay. So, okay. Yeah, it's really good. Right? It's exactly what is about the question and brief and concise. Okay, why do you call it a minor failure? And why do you think it's something that, you know,
It was a problem because the existing system is working well. There was no need for what she had suggested because her suggestion would have resulted in lots of rework by the entire department, which was
hmm,
definitely not necessary. Yeah.
hmm.
So,
So
mm,
so you
so
think
to
it's a failure is because you thought it's unnecessary, and
yeah,
you also thought that because you wanted to be more
impress.
active and to impress. But at the end, you
Yeah,
chose not to do anything, right?
yeah.
So is it why you feel that it's something, it's a little bit of a failure that happened recently, or is that the
It's not a
reason?
failure lah. I just thought that
Mm,
it was a potential problem because if it gets implemented, it's just going to be more
mm,
work for everyone, which wasn't necessary.
okay. So there was
Mm.
an event and that was what you believe. So your belief is about the person actually wanted to impress and you react is, well, I mean, let's see what happens.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, let's see how
And
it
not
goes.
to see how it goes. Yeah. Okay, so this is how you deal with the events that you think is a little bit, yeah, it's not positive, definitely. Yeah. It, it could end up on the negative side of it. All right. Is anyone else want to share a little failure?
Okay, maybe I
Yeah.
give it a try.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a unit that we need to hand over to our client, a room space. But we realized there are some outstanding works and defect. But the department manager insisted that we do the handover. So
Hmm.
that was the challenge. So my reaction is um, to notify the contractors to do the verification, and then as well as to inform the client that all these outstanding works and defects. I mean,
So
it might upset the manager, but I think it's uh, justified to do all this.
So in the middle of it, what do you believe? Like, do you think is something, um, I mean, it's going to lead to a failure or something?
The failure is we might miss the completion date of the IDE renovation.
ID renovation.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is your role that in this case?
What is my role?
Yeah.
Well, I am in charge of the defects.
Oh, okay. Okay. So this is your problem was that, and then so you say that the deadline might be delayed in terms of this. Yeah.
But I believe again that I cannot make everyone happy. Someone has to make the decision.
So you have already made decision that you already make the changes to that.
Yes. Because I think
Okay.
there's no way to hide.
There's no way to hide. So you decided and then you corrected it. And
Yes.
well, it seems that that is not a failure. It's more like it's more like something that you achieve, isn't it?
Mm-mm. Well,
Yeah. Oh.
someone is going to be unhappy about it.
Oh, so you believe that when you do this, so this is a belief, right? You believe that if you make the decision, someone is going to get upset. Someone is going to be, or maybe offended somehow. Yeah,
Yes.
or emotionally unhappy about it. So this was a belief, but you still, right? How did you react? Right? You even believe that so, but what you believe is I cannot make everyone happy. I need to do the right thing. And then you reacted accordingly, rationally, after you think it carefully. So that is your duty. So that is also what you believe, right?
Yes.
Okay. Excellent. Yeah. So, well, it seems that this, I think, is quite positive too at the end. Yeah. You actually, even though you still make somebody unhappy, but we don't know. Okay. Right. Thanks for sharing. You see how it is, right? The ABC model sometimes could have different routes. Yeah. Like what you, um, Sharon and Shane, um, show us. Yeah. Sometimes we choose our action, right? And then we have the positive consequences, but sometimes you have negative consequences. Like for this one, let's say we go back to the driving test again, right? Failing driving test. And when this happen, if the guy, you think, oh, I'm not good, that is a belief. Because I'm not good, it's why I fail. At the end, he gave up and only take, okay, from now on, only public transportation, right? Don't think about driving a car. Okay, so that is one way. How about the other way? Failing the driving test, and then, oh, okay, but the thinking is, well, the test is very high quality. It makes us really want to learn well, practice well before we go on the test. So, and then the volition is, okay, now I want to really take the challenge. I should be well prepared for the next test. So my friend did this, and in the end, he told me that the second test, he passed. Right now, he is a driver in Singapore. Yeah, you might bump into him on the street sometimes. So these are what we talk about in the ABC model. We that's why we can have. Sometimes it depends on. So you see, like events, we all face the same event. Either Sharon, either Shane, either myself. If we fail the test, yes, we feel the same test and we might have the same feeling about it. But the difference is what we believe to be the reason of the failure. If we can blame ourselves for I'm not good, or we can see from other perspective. Yes, the test is very well structured, is very high quality. We really need to excel before we can pass it. Well, then we become motivated, right? So the consequences or the end result could be completely different just because what we believe. Okay, so if we can analyze, like, it is a very simple model of analyzing what we do, but we always check what we believe and what we don't believe, right? And try to challenge our belief sometimes. That will bring to a different result, right? So for example, if, right, there's someone who chose that I'm not good, right? The belief thing. So then it will cause unhealthy coping mechanism, which means that if you look around and we find even sometimes ourselves when our mood is very, very low, right? When we feel like we don't achieve much in work, in life, in family, what are the things that we do? We sometimes try to isolate ourselves, right? We isolate ourselves, and sometimes we even overeating junk food. Yeah, it happens to me. Like, I remember when I was in the um when I was studying in undergraduate school, right? The math was so difficult for engineering study. I wasn't really good at it. So yeah, whenever I study, I got so stressed out. I just need to have a pack of potato in front of me, right? So the fries, whatever. So yeah, I've the problem of overeating junk food. And then sometimes when people have a bit of money, they might tend to buy something expensive that we don't actually need, right? Thanks to the social media, thanks to the um all the convenience by the internet, shopping, they make everything so convenient. I'm not sure how you buy digital books in Singapore, but when I was in America, the Amazon Kindle is the most popular one we buy books from. So I'm always amazed by why do they have the function of one click to buy. I'm not sure whether we have it in another system, but in Amazon, the bookstore, you can choose if you want to buy a book, you can put it in your cart, right? Put a button. But after you do that, you need to go to the card, you need to actually go to pay, and then you need to go to your credit card verification, and then everything will be settled. So at least 3 steps or at most 4 steps to do. But if you click one click to buy, it means literally one click you can get it. Just click that, and the book is in your bookshelf already, right? I always wonder, why would people want to save even that 2 extra steps to buy a book, right? But actually, I found out later that the function became so popular that it made Amazon actually one of the most successful. It became a big seller for Amazon Kindle books because of the function itself. It helps to boost up the sales so much. It tells that like in the society, we call it the things, right? The things to buy, to purchase. We don't want it tomorrow. We don't want it to come by next week. We want it now, right away. That kind of satisfaction, that kind of thing that we are going after. So that buying something, sometimes we end up that we don't need them. So this is our one way of coping our stress, right? So it also depends on what we believe, right? If we believe that, oh, I'm not good, and because I'm feeling I'm not good, I want to make myself feeling good. This is how we evolve to be human. When we are feeling down, we will find some method to bring ourselves up again. Of course, there are many ways to do it, but if we don't know the healthy way, we choose an unhealthy way, we all eat, we buy things impulsively, we yell at other people, we use drugs, we stay up all night just to scroll along Instagram, reading all those unhealthy junk feeds from Instagram. So if we check ourselves, we have this kind of habits, unfortunately. Sometimes I do. Sometimes when I feel really tired after like having a whole day of reading my text, sometimes I just sit an hour just soaring without any purpose. I don't know why, but yeah, somehow it is considered as one kind of unhealthy coping mechanism, right? So you can check on that. So it also, that is a consequences, right? So because we don't have, we call it in Buddhism, the right understanding or the right thinking. We don't know what is the correct belief, and we chose the wrong path. We follow our usual habit of thinking, which is sometimes negative, and then we also unfortunately chose the wrong unhealthy coping mechanism. So what are the opposites, right? Instead of isolating oneself, you can ask for help from other people. Yeah, I don't know for you guys, but I think it's quite hard to actually ask for help. You need to really have someone that you can really trust and know you well, and you know that they can bear your hardship. So this is the thing, right? So deep breathing techniques instead of overeating junk food. You know that breathing, why in Buddhist meditation and even all meditation tradition in all religions, breathing is always the basic and the most important. Why? Why? Now it's been proven by science, because breathing is the only, I would say, activity or mechanism or body mechanism that can be controlled by what we call that, there are two system, right? The automatic system and sorry, forget exact scientific name for it. But I think you know what I'm saying about, right? Body system, like usually our reflection, right, is controlled by one system in the brain, and then our other action, like going, like extending our hand to grab for food. So these are like the revolutionary action and involutionary action. So the breathing is the only activity in our body that can be volitionally and can be involutionary. So when we are focusing on, let's say, listening and doing our job, right, we don't pay attention to our breathing, right? But we still breathe. We're still breathing. We don't even think about it. So that is involutionary activity. But when I tell you now, okay, now close your eyes, pay your attention to your breathing, make sure your breath go all the way to your stomach. Feel the expansion of your stomach. Right? When I tell you, you can actually do that. You can control your breathing. So breathing is the only way that can help us to go from the more evolutionary action, and then to go into the involutionary part of the mind. And then that will actually calm us down right away. So deep breathing, no matter what tradition you learn, either it's a Buddhism or other tradition, breathing exercise, right? Breathing exercise, deep breathing exercise always is the best method to calm us down and to reduce our stress. It is not just a religious belief. It has been proven by a lot of scientific research. Like breathing is definitely a fundamental, basic, and easiest way to cool us down. So next time when we feel like reaching for the bag of potato chips in a storage, right? Think twice instead of going for that at night. Why don't we sit down quietly for 5 minutes? Just your breathing. Just your breathing. Try to focus on breathing. Go all the way to your tummy, to your stomach, and feel it 10 times, 15 times. And then you can see a difference, right? So this is the way of healthy coping mechanism in dealing with our stress. I'll take a walk. But for me, taking a walk is definitely a game definitely a game changing for me. Right? You know that there's so many. That's why in the movie you always see that philosophers, right, when they want to talk about like the big questions like life, right? What is the meaning of life? What is death? They always showing them walking somewhere in the garden, by the lake, along the river. They walk along and think. Actually, it works. I know it definitely works. Yeah. So for me, it is something that Shamin has just shown us sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. It's just too long to remember. So now I know why I'm not studying medicine in a way or neuroscience. The name just killed me. Okay, this is what I believe, right? This is what I believe. You see, I should have changed it. Okay, taking a walk, playing a musical instrument, of course, talking with a friend, playing your favorite sport. These are the things that, of course, everybody knows, but doing it is the thing, yeah? So this is what we talk about by the model, like when we have an activity event, when we feel that, and then what is it that we believe to be good or bad? What is the right and wrong? And the C is what is the consequences, what we want to do with it. All right. Any question up to this point? You can drink some water too. By just sitting there under the aircon, you might you might dehydrate yourself too. Drink more water, reduce your stress. All right, to the practice part. So what I want to do is okay, we have the three problem, right? You have just tried. What was the problem? What were your belief and thoughts, and how did you react? So what I want to do is I want to add two more things for you now, right? You can do it on your own, right? You can do it on your own. What is it? Okay, from here on the belief part, now you try to challenge your belief and your thoughts. All right. For example, my friend who just failed the driving test in Singapore. Well, the first time he felt that I'm stupid, I'm not good, I have no good sense of direction. So let's say I have no good sense of direction, therefore I fail the test. Okay, this is what I believe, right? For example. So now I challenge. What can I challenge? A belief, a thoughts. How should I challenge it? Well, think about it. I don't know. We kind of look at another way. Well, am I really bad? No sense of direction. Well, sometimes I do, right? Like sometimes I go to the big mall, I park my car, maybe 10 times out of 5 times out of 10, 10 out, 5 out of 10 times, I could find my car right away. Well, at least I'm not like absolute, right? Blind or absolute mindless on direction. At least when I'm driving, sometime in a bus, I know where I'm going. Yeah. So sense of direction, maybe that's not really so what are we trying to do is we try to shake our belief a little bit, by giving examples of how I succeeded in other time, or similarly, what I believe I don't have, I couldn't do, but in other time I've done it before. One or twice is enough to actually shake our belief that, oh, I can do this, oh, I'm not good at this. Try to do the practice. And then another thing is, now we switch from, all right, think about the failure we did before. Now we switch from that failure, we imagine, right? We have belief, we have changed our belief, we have challenged our belief, and we replace it with another belief. Or maybe just a test is too hard. For example, right? Maybe it's not because of me, but it's just because the test is just very well structured. It's just good. So what would you have reacted? Giving yourself another opportunity, what would you have done? So in that case, if I think the test is just very high standard, I would say, yeah, a challenge. I want to challenge myself. I want to try it again. Right? You see what I'm trying to get to? Right? You can do it on your own. Right? You can do it on your own. Think about, well, you don't have to necessarily do it now, but think about anything you think that you feel something. Write down the question, the problem. What was the problem? What do you think caused the problem? Was it you? Was it other people? After you write it down, challenge it. Yeah, really? Really? I think so. Like this guy is really like, is it really his fault? Is it really because of the rain? Is it really because of, okay, try to look at different angle, at least give one different perspective, challenge it, and because the end result was there, and then now see, okay, if this is the one I believe at that time, how would I have reacted differently on the first time? So this is the exercise. Yeah, this is the exercise. So I know you guys, I'm not going to share, but let me share a little bit of my experience with you. Yeah. When I was, remember when I just graduated in Canada, so I got a job in a car factory. So at that time, I was a new graduate. So I was assigned under my supervisor, who is well known for his, well, well known means I was even warned before I came to my office, right? So he was bad tempered, right? Very picky, right? Not friendly. And the worst thing was racist. Okay. Well, I took it, okay, whatever, I thought I could handle it. But then I went to the office. I was put in the same cubicle as the supervisor because our cubicle were two persons sharing one place, a round table, right? Not round, but semi-circle. I'm on the other end. He was on the other end. On the first day, I just realized that, yeah, everything I heard was true. Everything I heard was true. He was mean, he was sarcastic, and he didn't like me. And then at the end of the first day, I just proved, I justified everything I heard before I came to the office was correct. He was racist. He didn't like me because I'm Asian, right? And he always say mean thing to me, like sarcastically, very sarcastically. Like sometimes it was in the snow, even when I just came to the office 1 or 2 minutes late, he would say that, oh, did you go for a coffee? Oh, you should have, like, he say things like very sarcastically. I purposely, went to have fun, like, and be late to work. So anyway, so my reaction was I hardly communicate with him. I try to avoid him. So I think for the first 2 months, this was our relationship. He did his job. As long as I don't try to cross over, I reported to him. As long as I don't want to have too much communication. So that was how I did. So that was my event. My supervisor was a mean guy. But what I believe, yes, he was really mean because I saw it from my first experience. I believe that. How do I react? Stay away. And myself, of course, was stressed, right? I was sitting there 8 hours a day, sitting with somebody you don't like, and he doesn't like you. What do you feel? Right? It's a very bad experience. So what happened was, there was one time, there was a very important customer who came to our office, and because we had to show them a 3D drawing of parts of a car parts. That was in charge by our department, but it seems that my supervisor didn't know how to operate the new software. So he was struggling for 10 minutes, didn't know how to use the software to show the model to the client who was standing there like, waiting just to see the model. At first I thought, well, it was funny, right? I was like, oh, okay, I'm starting to watch. It was like, it's not very good. But after that, I realized, no, 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 no. Because, I had just became a Buddhist at that time. I said, well, maybe I should do something a bit different. Yeah. Well, he's a mean guy, but, well, we are on the same team. So what the heck? Let's do it. So I went over to him. Because I knew the software very well. So let me help you, maybe I can operate it. So I did it. And yeah, so it solved the problem. Um, the customer was happy. He left. But you know what? And from then on, I didn't know whether it's about my perspective has changed or my supervisor has changed because I help him. I don't know whether because my help was just a little thing. I didn't know, I didn't believe that it was such a big thing. But from that on, from that on the next day, when my boss still talking about coffee, when I'm late, but I felt like he is more human to me because I saw that, well, he also someone who is suffering because his education, because he didn't got training enough for that project, and he wasn't so familiar with the software. So I could tell that for him, I'm more like a challenge. I'm more like a rival or something that, that can affect his position. So from there, I can see that, oh, he's also someone who feel insecure, who feel sometimes low self-esteem. So you can see that my belief from the beginning that, oh, he's a bad guy, he's a mean, he's racist. From the next thing is I saw his vulnerability, and I saw he also become a little bit softer after I helped him. So my belief changed that he is also a human as I. He suffers, He is mean sometimes because he really suffered at his job. He didn't have enough confidence in doing his thing. And then so this is how my whole experience also changed after 2 months was that, well, we didn't become like really good friends. Of course, it's not a fairy tale. It seemed that at least I completely changed my perspective on him. Yeah. And I worked there for a couple more months. And yeah, it was something that I remember, by changing what we believe. Actually, it will change how you see that person. Even the outcome of it is completely different. You know, how I knew it was different. There was one time at an executive meeting, I wasn't there. Well, I wasn't an executive, right? So my big boss at the end, he was surprised that he really came to me and said, "Hey, what did you do?" I said, "What?" He said, like your supervisor, for my experience, I've been working with him for 10 years. I never heard him praise anyone. And you were the first one that he really praised in front of everyone in the executive meeting. We're like, whoa, really? He really did that? So yeah, that was how I believe, by changing your perspective, by shaking a little bit. We are not lying to ourselves, but giving us an opportunity to see things a little bit from other perspective, and change our belief that we're holding so strongly. Sometimes a lot of things can have different consequences. So, and then all the while we came back to the model that we are talking about is right. An event, activity event, what you believe and how you react and become consequences. So these are all related to the Buddhist psychology. We talk about the contact, what you see, what you pay attention to, what is your feeling. Be aware of your feeling. And then know that what you believe, what your concept is about. And then volition, what you plan to do next. What's your intention, what you plan to do. Yeah. So this is simplified into the ABC model and help us to be more aware of how we look at things and how we can make things a little bit more different in the future. Okay, so this is a mind-changing exercise. Okay, so keep this, and I hope you have find some time to do this. I think it will be very helpful. All right. So before we end, any question? Anything you want to share? You say, oh, no, no, no. So this is exactly what I've gone through. Maybe I have something more interesting to say. Well, I'm sure you have more experience than me. All right. So since today is the second class, well, the final class before Chinese New Year, so there's definitely no homework. Don't worry. I won't see you probably in a few months' time. I don't know. By the end of the year, right, Shane?
Okay, so there's no more questions for any one of us? No, you can either type your questions in the chat box or can just turn on your mic.
Okay, well, while waiting, so this is what we talk about today. We spend 10, 15 minutes, talk about the awareness homework. That was just, we use a picture, a drawing, to have a dialogue with ourselves, right? If you notice, why we use a picture instead of just words? Because picture is worth 1,000 words, right? One picture. Actually, we see the picture. Why we choose a picture, there's a reason to it. Remember what you chose? That reflects your state of mind at that specific time. What is the most important to you? What you care about at that time? It, see the picture, it reflects your conscious and subconscious mind. So this is a very funny thing. This is a very fun thing to do. There was exercise. And then we talk about how to use the 5 elements into a more practical way by adopting the Western psychology model we call the ABC, right? Actually, the content is almost the same, but application of ABC is more direct. So it is both ways. Yeah? You can integrate them together, make it your own use. And to practice, what was a practice? Challenge our belief once or twice, and then you will see how it make a difference. Okay. So changing our perspective may bring a different outcome. Yeah, what do you think? Any changing our perspective may bring a different outcome? Some, I don't know, what do you mean by outcome? The outcome may be from your own side or from the other side. You know, okay, I give you an example, okay? There was one student of mine, she doesn't like her mother-in-law, okay? So what she always tell me that my mother-in-law always nag me, she doesn't like me. She complain about me in front of my husband. Okay, you know the story, right? These kind of things. So so what I'm trying to help her is I'm trying to help her to see from different perspective. So I give her homework. Right? So I give her homework. I say, okay, now you go back every day, right? Before you sleep, write down one sentence, or at least think about one thing before you came to see me next time. Write down one thing that you feel thankful to your mother-in-law. And at first, her reaction was, no, it's impossible. It's impossible. Okay, no. I said, wait a minute, just try. We may not know at the end. So after a while, she came back and said, yeah, at least I found one, at the end. Okay, so you asked me, right, whether changing her perspective on herself change the behavior of the mother-in-law. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think the mother-in-law will be affected like very soon, but at least for herself, right? For my friend who see the mother-in-law, he used to see the mother-in-law in a negative way. She's just protective. She's like a traditional, typical traditional mother-in-law who doesn't like who doesn't want the son to be shaped by another woman and things like that. This kind of Chinese traditional thinking. But by just seeing one good point about the mother-in-law, her complaints about her become less and less. For until now, she hardly come and complain to see. Even though I imagine, like, when she goes back, she still has to face the same situation, scenario, but at least she's more grateful. She doesn't take a lot of things to be more personally, like, attacking her. And I believe like the situation will change, the relationship will change very slowly. So you ask me, if we change our perspective, may bring different outcome. I would say yes, definitely. But outcome might be from external. External may take a little bit of time, but internally, you save yourself. We save ourselves. We let ourselves not be hurt so many times. We live a life less suffering. That is a goal. Okay. So how if we want to change, but we dare not step up and change? Well, that you need more motivation. Try to talk to a good friend. Work together with a good friend. I think you need more motivation, right? We did not make the decision to change. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we dare not change. Well, if I'm not asking you to change other people, but just yourself, isn't it too hard? And no, it might be a little easier. What happens is sometimes when we see a problem, we always want to change other people. How do I make, for example, how do I make my son, at least be more nice when he talks to me, not like talking to his friend or something, a little bit more polite. And we think it's a problem, but we try to change the other people. But that is almost impossible. Right? So we try to change ourselves. And if you still find hard to do it, I would suggest you go to a community or read some books on Buddhism teachings, on how to talk about the behavior. Yes, slowly, we'll get encouragement to change. The five elements you mentioned, how is linked to any Buddhism, the 八正道, Zheng, Min. Yeah, the eight element is about the thinking, right? So belief, remember, the most important part in the five elements is actually our own belief system. So that belief, if we talk about the 八正道, right? The Eightfold Path. So for you, if you don't know what is the Eightfold Path, we can easily Google it online. But remember the second element of 八正道 is what? Correct view. What is correct view? Correct view means correct. Your belief system is correct. The first one, 正见, right? Correct 正见, 正思维. Oh, sorry. 正见 is correct view. The second one is 正思维, the correct thought, correct thinking. So these two actually is about our belief system. So if you want to ask me how is it related to the Eightfold Path, it is the first two elements that are related to the five elements of thought we were talking about. Right? Right view and right 正思维 is what? Right thinking. Yeah, there might be a better translation. I'm sure you know what I'm saying about. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I think
Okay,
to
Shane. Yeah, I'll leave it to
further
you.
elaborate or Linda's question, she said that we dare not make the decisions to change. Factually, things change. And if we do not make changes, how do we make improvement? And this thing about challenges is that this is how I look at it. Anything that does not kill you will make you stronger. So maybe you would like to remain the same, but you will end up getting to thinking, why do I always feel not good enough? You might not think that you're good enough now, but 5 to 10 years down the road, you might get better if you are making improvement to yourself. Can I say that?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So
That's
if
a way.
there's more no more questions, can we now invite Venerable You Min to dedicate merits for tonight's event?
Yes, thank you all. So as usual, I will invite you to join me to listen to and sing along, if possible, together with Venerable Hengshu, the beautiful merit dedication. Now, please join our palms together and listen to the beautiful lyrics.
May every living be our minds as one and radiant with light. Share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright.
Oops. Ah, sorry, pressed the wrong button. Let me just do it again.
May every living be our minds as one and radiant with light. Share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise.
Mary 主为主主分，他的歌是什么歌？
Thank you very much.
On behalf of People's Buddhism Studies Society, I'd like to thank Venerable You Min for the great sharing tonight and everyone for your time. We have come to the end of the talk and we look forward to see you guys soon. Amitabha.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night and happy Chinese New Year.
Thank you, Pastor.